Are you serious?
Maybe. Are you serious, Brad?
Good night.
Brad, why are you so grumpy today? You are
Jeez.
nothing but a grumpy Gus. I feel that somebody needs a hug.
If there's one person that just goes out of their way to disappoint me, it's you.
I don't go out of my way to do anything.
It
I
sure
merely
seems like it.
exist. I
No,
merely exist.
you know what you're wearing? Those look like those one-piece old school pajamas.
Maybe they are. How do you know that it's not?
So it's like a kid's jumper.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm doing.
Uh-huh.
Why
What's
are
up,
you?
Jeremy?
Not a whole lot, Bradford. It's 8:31. It's past my bedtime.
You you missed the intro to the Briggity Bro
Oh
Bobs.
shit! Let's start again.
Hey, Jeremy.
Hey, Bradford.
Jeremy, welcome to the Briggity Bro Bobs.
Briggity Bro Bobs.
Why do you always have to do that?
That's what we do. What's wrong with it?
No, it's
Most
what you
people,
do. It's what you do.
most people watch us and they expect to have hands coming fast and furious at them, like whoa, 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 and they try to block.
Do they really, though?
I would imagine that's how I picture this going in my head. People are like, pow, pow.
That's what they're doing while watching us?
Yeah, when my hands are coming at them, they get nervous.
I hope they stretch and warm up before they play the episode.
I might have just tore a tricep.
Honey, what are you doing? I'm getting ready to watch the Briggity Bro Bobs. So why are you stretching? Because I'm going to be doing this the whole time.
See, I told you.
You are a complete fool.
Hey, look. Wow, see, you weren't you weren't prepared for it. That was good
Are you
stuff.
done?
I think that's a good intro. I have to say, good job, us,
Well, thank God you appreciate your own intro.
dude. My kids in my class, I always like say jokes and laugh at myself, and I'm like, at least I can laugh at myself if you guys aren't going to. So I do crack myself up quite often.
I typically am the only person laughing at my own jokes.
Yeah, I think that's a sign of intelligence, to be honest. So there's that. Or at least if it's not, I claim that it is.
I mean, I feel like nobody makes me laugh more than me.
Yeah, that's because you're funny looking. Oh, as Elliot would say, burn.
Jeremy, how's your week of training going?
Well, it's done. This is Sunday. I got 30 miles on the nose in. 10-mile long run today. Took off 2 days this week. Took off yesterday because it was pouring outside and it was miserable. But I'm happy. I'm content. I'm a little beat up. I'm probably going to need a down week here shortly, but my plan doesn't have that. So I have to listen to the plan. The plan is the be all and the end all. Especially if I have to beat you. I was thinking 42 minutes is what I think that I should be able to run or should have to run to beat you. Well, actually, probably 40 seconds to that, or 39 seconds, and I get to beat you. So 40, I guess 42, 39. That's pretty
That
quick.
was that was really difficult math.
It was. I couldn't remember what I just said, so I had to piece it together. Um, so yeah, it's going okay. I'm not enjoying all of my runs right now, but I'm enjoying the time of year. So it's starting to get to like fall weather, which is fun for me. What about you, Brad? How's this week been for you?
Pretty non-existent.
What do you mean by non-existent?
Like I've just done no running.
Why? Is it your knee? Is your butt?
My butt has been hurting me more than the knee. So, but do need knee surgery,
Okay.
which probably going to need 15 minutes in the 10K.
You're not getting any time. You're gonna have a bionic knee. You're gonna have a bionic
No,
knee.
That's not the way that it works for a meniscus tear, Jeremy.
That's how it works according to me. You get surgery, you leave better than when you went in, bionic.
No.
So I probably deserve 30 minutes in the 5 in the
So
10K.
on top of the age difference, that I'm in a different age category, and
You have faster PRs than I do in essentially every race.
from when I was your age, not this age.
It doesn't matter.
Yes. Jeremy, then what's the point of getting older? You're saying your times should just stay the same as when we were in our 20s.
But if let's say that
Let's
somebody,
say,
okay, Bernard Lagat, he's older than both of us, yeah.
yep.
So we should give him time.
So, I mean, I appreciate the comparison to Bernard Lagat in comparison to you. So
Well,
you're saying
that's how I feel about
that's
you.
how drastic, like how big the disparity is between you and myself
Look,
is
the,
I'm an Olympian, medalist, king of the boards,
yeah.
and you are just a real schlep.
Look, let's look at the marathon and just
Okay.
extrapolate it down from there. You have me beating the marathon by 23 minutes or 21 minutes
Okay.
or something like that.
Okay.
That's
When
a
I was
lot.
uninjured and from years ago,
It was 2 years ago, so you're the same age I am.
I
I'm
was in a
never going to run
different
a 258.
different age group.
I'm
Different
never going
age
to run a
group.
258.
That's a lie.
You don't know that.
That's a lie.
I will purposefully not run 258. I will see that
To prove
258
me
on.
wrong.
Yeah,
Wow.
I will stop
You
right
would be
there
the
and
one
wait until
person to
it
do
says
that.
253 or 259, and then I'll cross the
You
finish
would
line.
do that.
I look, if it means I beat you because I was slower, then yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm.
I just signed up for Grandma's, and it asked me what time I was predicting myself to run, and
Okay.
I put 3:03.
So a 5-minute difference from what I ran there.
Yeah,
And you're making
I
all of this to do.
I won't. But Brad, I won't have the time that you have to train like you have. I have
I'm
I have a
injured
regular
and
job.
I'm old.
You're not even old. What the fuck are you talking about? 2 years of difference
Jeremy,
doesn't make anything.
so tell me when that you then why are there different age groups?
They have to. It's all arbitrary though, because there is no
How is it
significant
arbitrary?
difference. There is no significant difference between 44 and 45. There's just
There
not.
is. There's a year.
Not in performance. It's not like
What do
when
they
you're 3 to when you're 4.
what does the study say? I think your top end speed decreases every year after 32 by something like
94% probably.
1.5% a year.
That's assuming that you don't do the stuff you're supposed to do to stay on top of
That's
it.
not true. That's for people
You can
training.
negate that. Look, no.
So you're
And I'll
saying
bring
at
up
90 years
Shelly Ann Fraser Price. She's running faster
okay.
than she ever has, and she's 37 years old or 38 years old.
So you're going to use the one outlier. One outlier.
Does what she does prove my point? Then
No.
yes. Yes, it does.
No.
Yes, it does. Proves
So
my point.
has Bernard Lagat gotten faster since he got older?
No, because he's a regular
But you've
person.
already used him as the benchmark that we're supposed to be using here.
I didn't say that. I said that's who you are to me. That's our comparison. So I probably deserve at least 12 or 15 minutes per race.
I'm a Kenyan who then got his U.S. citizenship.
I mean, it tracks, Brad.
I believe he medaled both as a Kenyan and as an American.
I think that's exactly right. When I remember walking into our dorm, I already think I saw a gold medal in there.
So why do runners retire if there's no discernible difference between 1 year to the next?
They just don't want to do it anymore, Brad. That's mental. That's mental. That's mental. That's mental. Like think about it. So you have an elite athlete who has to train their brains out for years on end and years on end and years on end. And yes, they
And
are
get
slowing
paid
down.
for it. And get
they're
paid for it.
Yes. And I'm sure
It's
that
not like
Bernard
they're
Lagat is still
running it
getting
for
paid.
fun.
I'm sure Bernard Lagat's still getting paid from Nike or whomever it is. Did he not
Mm,
have a bunch of? You don't think so? You
no,
don't think so? You don't
no,
think so? You
no.
don't think
He's
so?
probably wearing Hokas right now.
Probably the old man shoe. I don't even know where we're going. Where were we just
Talking about
talking?
age and why people retire if they never
Oh,
get slower.
but so these people are training year in, year out at the very top end of everything, and it takes a
Mhm.
toll mentally as well as it does physically on you.
So you're saying Justin Gatlin and Shelly Ann Fraser Price, who both had some of the longest sprinting careers in the history
So you
of
gave me
track
another
and
person.
field.
Exactly.
He was also busted for doping.
Hmm.
So they just 1 year decided, ah, that's
Maybe
good
they
for me.
saw. Maybe they saw for the first time a crack in their armor, right? A chink in their armor, and
Right,
they were
because
like,
they're a year older and
one, but
slower.
yes, but Brad, you're talking like, I'm sorry, 44 to 45 does not make a significant difference for people like us.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Then why are there no 45-year-old?
Then why did you run the fastest marathon you've ever run when you were my age?
Because I never ran a marathon until
Yes,
I
you.
was 42.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Now, see, look, at 42, you became an elite level runner. Not everybody can claim that.
No,
Super elite,
no,
double super elite.
no.
You told me for a fact that you were going sub 150 in the marathon,
Yes.
and you pulled it back because you didn't want to make people feel bad.
Well, correct. I don't want to get out there with who's the new world record holder?
Kiptum, is
Kiptum.
that? Yeah, I think so.
I don't want to half step him for an hour and 55 minutes.
I mean, you'd be
Like, how
done.
rude would that be until I just dust him in the last 10K, just one stepping him the whole time? Hey, bud.
Just whispering in his ear.
This isn't even hard.
This is like a morning jog for me. When I get up and I feel like I can't like move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so dovetails very nicely into our topic today.
What is that topic, Bradford? One that
Running
I came up
etiquette.
with. Yes. That you helped, though, curate our list because I was not coming up with anything.
Running
I
etiquette.
had one thing. I was like, running etiquette.
You say
don't, don't be
you
an
told him,
asshole.
just so everybody understands our pre-conversation. I said, why don't we go through running definitions? Because there's got to be at least 50 of them. No, that's boring. Let's do running etiquette. Well, like, what could we talk about? The one thing that you said was what? I don't
Don't
even
remember.
remember. You gave me one idea. One piece of running etiquette was all that you gave me.
Oh, I said it was
Starting
about racing.
corrals. Starting corrals.
I was like, don't go to the front of a race if you know you're gonna walk and impede people. Come on now.
So why don't we start out with just general running etiquette? So we'll finish on racing, but you need to build into racing. So general running etiquette, both as an individual, group runs, pairs, however you do your daily running.
All right. So look, number one, you have to be safe, and that smushes a whole bunch of things together. So number one, if you're out there running at night or in the dark, be
Dress
visible.
appropriately.
Be visible, dudes. Nobody wants to be driving even if you're going under the speed limit, and all of a sudden here comes like a flash right by you. Wow! Because you're running so fast, you're like, what the hell was that? Be seen. Be it having a light. Maybe you're having one of those vests. Maybe they have these vests that come out with the what is it, the bracelets that you the glow stick vests, all
Well, they
that
have
stuff.
those, Jeremy.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Wear those bad boys and
Well, I
be
would say at a
seen.
minimum, if you're running at night, something to like preferably reflective. If not reflective, like a red blinker on the back
Yeah, I would venture
and
to
a
say
headlamp.
I didn't wear those things when I was running early in the morning because I would run with my shirt off and I pretty much glow in the dark. So I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I didn't follow my first rule of etiquette. I just ran right down the middle of the road, and I just hoped that people could see the shiny reflecting off of me because I'm so pasty. So
Well,
that's
then
number one.
you dovetail into my number two.
Which is
Only run on the road, one, in opposing traffic, and
okay.
two,
What does opposing mean, Bradford?
opposing. So push
Like, are
pull,
you like
push pull.
fisticuffs?
If a car is driving this way, you're gonna run that way.
What's
Run
the purpose
against
of that?
traffic. Run
Run
against
against
traffic.
traffic. Yeah. What's
Yes.
the purpose of that?
So you can get out of their way.
Couldn't you do that if you were running with traffic?
No, you have eyeballs in the back of your head, Jeremy.
I don't like looking where I'm running. I like to look where I've been. So I indeed just turn around and look the opposite direction and just hope for the best.
So run against traffic.
Yes.
Two, if there's an alternative to not run in the road, get off the road.
See, I don't.
100%.
Nope.
100%.
Nope. Not.
And here we
Nope.
go.
Nope. Nope.
Let me guess, you run on the road because it's better for your legs?
No, I run on the road because that's what I want to do. Bradford, I hate running on the sidewalk because I have to
Why?
worry about. Because if you're running on the sidewalk, you have all kinds of shit to worry about. You have little
Like,
dog toys. Or, when you're running and you have like the little dip because there's a driveway, like you might just catch a toe.
so you never run trails. You are,
Oh, I do. I run trails often, but
but it doesn't
but
seem like you're
when
able
you're
to
running
deal
on the
with
road,
any change of
you're not
terrain.
expecting that. You're not expecting that. What happens what if a manhole cover is off and
Those are in the road, Jeremy.
you fall in? That's
There's
not
no
ideal.
manhole covers in sidewalks.
Maybe not where you're from, but in Virginia, most certainly. That's the only place they are.
So, and it's been proven repeatedly through peer review that running surfaces have no impact on injury prevention.
As a matter of fact, I would also go and give you some advice as well that goes against what I'm saying, is that if you're constantly running on the road against traffic, you're always running at a camber, which is going to put different strains on your different legs, right? So if you're running against traffic, right, my left leg is always going to be slightly down from my right leg, and it's not right. It's not even. So if you go up onto a sidewalk, it's more even. So I just proved to you why you should run on the sidewalk, but I'm going to refuse to do so.
Okay. So we've now hit two pieces of running
Yeah,
etiquette. I would
it's two.
say number three.
So number three, if we're staying with the safety piece, though,
Okay.
okay, kind of goes into a couple of other things I would say is like if you're listening to music, have it so that you can hear what's going on around you, right? So
Okay.
they have specific headphones that you can use that like are open ear that you can hear what's going on around you. Because even if you're running against traffic, doesn't mean that there's not a car coming up behind you or somebody else
Yep.
coming up behind you. You need to be aware of your surroundings.
Another
If
runner.
you, another runner, right? A
A
bike,
rollerblader.
a rollerblader. I know a bike should be going with traffic, but you never know what other people are doing. So,
One
and if you
wheelers.
have, what's that?
One wheelers.
Well, yeah, you could run into a wall, perhaps, on a one wheel.
Unicycles. There could
Perhaps
be any
spaceships.
number of people behind you out exercising. Elliptico bikes.
Dude, those things are so fun. Have you ever ridden one?
No, but I would like to. And they
When I
might be
worked at
trying to
concrete.
pass you. And they might be trying to pass you.
Yeah, but they should be going with traffic.
Razors,
Razor scooters, yeah. Just
skateboards,
razors. Are razors like flying through the air? See, someone had to
skateboards,
fly. What's that?
skateboards.
Skateboards.
Yep.
But again, just so you can hear what's going on around you, right?
Power wheels.
Yes. Continue on, Brad. What about a drone? There's possibly a drone coming up behind you. Somebody's
That's not
following
an
you.
that's not a form of exercise,
Hey,
Jeremy.
listen,
Pogo
if
stickers.
let's say
Pogo
you are,
stickers, Jeremy.
let's say you're running and you can't hear, and somebody's stalking you with a drone. If you can't hear the
Why'd you
drone,
do the crazy sign? Like if you're running and you're crazy.
listen, if it's the drone, you can't hear it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Yep. Okay.
I can't hear anything, right? So I don't know. There might be a drone behind me and a stalker. Weird.
Okay. Okay.
That hurt. Um, So yeah, what happens if Jason Voorhees? I mean, it is spooky season. He's walking quickly up behind you,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't hear the as he comes up on you. Like, what are you gonna do?
What if he's riding an e-bike?
Exactly. It gives you an opportunity to hear what's going on. So let's just say,
Maybe it's a pair of tandem bicyclists.
yes, it could be that too, Brad.
It very well could be.
It could
It
be.
very well.
It could be one of those plastic
What if
cars that,
it's
that kids like do with their feet, and they push them
what
forward with their feet.
what you might not have this problem where you are, but what if there's a horse and buggy behind you?
It's true. I don't live in Amish country, but some people do.
That's right. That is
Yeah.
right.
And you might find yourself running in Amish
what if
country
it's
one day.
just a horse rider? Just
What if
a
it's just a
single on a
horse?
horseback.
What if it's just a
Then
horse
that's
getting
a real
confused?
problem, Jeremy. If it's just a random horse behind you, you've taken this, that's a bridge too far, Jeremy.
Yes, it is, Brad. You're
That
right. I
is
apologize.
that is where I draw the line. So we're
That's
gonna
one
move
step too
on.
far.
You've taken this, yes, you've taken this right off a cliff here.
Okay, so my
Yes.
apologies, people. I got a little crazy. I'll try to rein it in here.
Yeah, that was bad, Jeremy.
My
That was
apologies.
bad.
All right, so
Uh,
we've got safety.
okay.
Okay, so that's
Nope.
etiquette.
Here, and let's go through some group etiquette.
Okay. I don't run in many groups. It's been a long time, but I would venture to say, go ahead, Brad.
I'm gonna go through a bunch here.
Okay.
Start with the group, finish with the group.
Yes.
And
What happens though?
this is to the entirety of the group.
Okay, so you're saying the people who may be a little bit more fit and faster, if you see somebody starting to
It's
lag,
their
go ahead.
responsibility to keep the group together.
Yeah, I agree with that because the person who's lagging, they're not doing it on purpose, I'm sure. Who's
That's
starting
right.
to suffer. So you can back it off if you're running 30 seconds per mile slower than you wanted to. I mean, what's the detriment?
So
So
start with the group, finish with the group. No half stepping.
what does that mean when you say half? Like, do you just like, is it like a speed walk? Like, I don't
Yes.
understand.
Yes.
I love speed walking.
Heel. You can't have 2 feet off the ground at the same time.
Nope. And you guys,
No.
like, usually
No.
to get it done, right? You swish your hips.
Half stepping is the person that is always just a half step ahead of you so that you think your job is then to catch back up to them so that you're shoulder to shoulder and then they just keep half stepping you. So instead of just a group run, it turns into a race.
Group race, and I hate that. Every single group run I've been to, it's always like I try to latch onto a group that's going the pace I'm going at the time, and then all of a sudden, we're a minute and a half later and we're going 10, 15, 20 seconds per mile faster, and I'm like, what's going on here? Like, why are we doing this? Can we not just have a nice relaxed easy run? Because nobody's talking anymore. You're like,
So and this is always the half stepper's problem. So they are the one forcing the pace. If you're running a half step ahead, those people typically are quite naive in the fact they think, well, then just stay a half stride behind me. But
right.
one, if I'm trying to talk to you, I don't want to talk to the back
Back.
border of your head.
Yeah.
Two, it's just a common courtesy to run shoulder to shoulder.
Until Bradford.
Until what?
Until that common courtesy becomes 4 across or 5 across, and you're taking up an entire sidewalk.
Only 2 across.
2 across. 2 across. Unless it's really
That's
wide,
it.
you can go 3 across. Unless it's really wide, you can go 3 across.
Maybe.
But like those people, those groups, who you have like 5 across and you're taking up an entire sidewalk or you're taking up the entire side of the entire trail or whatever it may be, like just stop and think about everybody else. Everybody
Yep.
else.
So I think that that cyclists in totality, because they're typically so strict about obeying road laws. Road cyclists group rides are way more structured in an understanding of group etiquette, including half wheeling. They just call out, like they will shame you out of a group ride for half wheeling people. That there's an etiquette that the strongest riders set the majority of the pace, but everybody is involved in setting a pace,
Yeah.
including that if you can't like sustain the same pace, it's fine to be up front and be like you just do shorter pulls or you just do whatever you can.
Yeah.
So, and then if the group separates, there's always a stop to allow people to regroup. They don't want two people half a mile behind them. So, as soon as they notice that the group is separated, they will literally just stop at the next stoplight and wait for everybody to regroup and adjust the pace accordingly so that everybody stays together. So, they're very cognizant of never dropping anybody, like helping people if they're not feeling good, which runners I think do arguably the worst job of.
Yeah.
Uh, Following like it's really really frowned upon and then browbeaten into you with cycling. Like just if it's a yellow light, just stop. Everybody's not going to make it through the light. So if our goal is to stay together, just follow the traffic laws. Like there's no point to like frogging through traffic. Just everybody sticks together. All right, we caught this light. Everybody stops, and that's the end of it. Runners are bolting across on crosswalks, froggering traffic. They do everything so that they don't break up their 8-minute pace for a 40-minute run.
You're right, Brad. And I have to say that I'm a little guilty of some of that stuff, but I couldn't again tell you the last time I really run with a group or a person. Um, so I do that just because I'm running by myself and I know what I'm doing for the most part. So I just kind of do it if I'm by myself. And I apologize for all those people who are in cars who think I'm not going to make it. I made it. I'm okay.
Here's
So
another thing cyclists do really well that I don't think runners do enough is signaling things that are on the ground in front of them. Whether it's a pothole, there's like there's something coming up, a
oh,
turn coming up or anything like that. I think runners think everybody can see behind them, but inevitably in group runs, you just end up looking at the back of heads or you're just not paying attention. And it
yeah,
seems like every group run I'm on, somebody twists an ankle, falls
catches a
off the
toe.
path. Yep.
Yep. Yep. Catching a toe is the worst because you like then it could become jarring. Like that's where you take a hard step and you just like hit it wrong. Woof. Sometimes that hurts hard. Hurts real hard. Don't catch
So,
those
and then
toes, people.
I would say the last piece of group running, we've done like 2 abreast, half stepping, start together, finish together,
Yeah.
obey traffic laws,
Obey traffic laws.
like just take the lights as
It
part of the
seems
run.
it seems, Brad, that you want to go back to cycling.
Mm-hmm. And then pay attention as you're slinging around snot rockets. So
Oh yeah.
exit out of the group before you blow your bodily fluid onto me,
Yes. Please. Like I don't
including
need
in
to be like
racing.
yes.
I
I
think
don't
in
need to be
racing,
right
people
behind
do the
you.
worst at this.
I don't need to be. I don't. Yeah. I don't need to be behind you and all of a sudden like get like boogered. It's just disgusting.
Yep.
Or vomited on, or shit on. Like if you know that you're
Mm-hmm.
leaking poop, like it's not a race strategy to keep people from coming up on you to like kick poop back at people. It's just not the good thing to do. I mean, that's something that I'm sure works occasionally, but let's not do that. Let's not kick poop.
So, and maybe we could caveat all of this. If you're racing, other than the traffic laws, like half stepping is acceptable in racing.
Yeah.
Is it not?
It is. I just look. So it's
The,
not against the rules, and it's not like I just really it gets under my skin when I have those people who will like just dart off like boom, right, and they're gone, and then you start to catch up, and you catch up with them, and they're either like slowly jogging or they're walking, and they look over, and then they boom, they're gone again. Like what the
so
fuck, dude?
you're this upset at the freshman in high school that doesn't know how to pace
Yeah,
and refuses, they're competitive enough to refuse to lose to you.
but ultimately they did. Just stop. Just catch a regular damn
So every
pace.
single person that's done that to you is lost to you.
Look, I can't recall the last
Every
time I
single
lost.
one.
I can't recall the last time I lost to anybody. So, um, there's that. No, of course not, Brad. It's just, and I don't even mean it in a race because it doesn't happen too often in a race. Usually, like people, once they start to get into that position where they're jogging or they're like walking and stuff like that, it's usually like an uphill battle for them where they're not going to really get back to that same rhythm that they were in to start with. So they may stay ahead for a couple more minutes, and then usually it's there. What I mean is like in those runs, right? So you see those people who are out there on their group runs, and they're like, "Oh, I have to stay ahead of this group so that I look like I finish faster or whatever it may be." Instead of just like just easing your way back to the group and just being content to be in that group and not ahead because that's where you think you belong. That's really where it
Yeah.
comes. That's where it stems from. I've
So
had a
the
couple people like teammates. There was this guy, and I'm not going to say his name, but in high school, I bought him a pair of sunglasses that had side view mirrors, so he didn't have to keep looking over his shoulder when we were doing warm ups. Like warm ups,
Mhm.
he's sitting there and he's like, I make sure I win the warm up. Like, don't be that guy or girl or bro or broette. So
person.
person, yeah, don't be that.
Okay. Warn somebody before you pass.
Yeah, that's a big one. And that also comes into like if you're wearing like earbuds that are just and you're listening to your music or whatever too loudly and you can't hear what's going on behind you, like don't do that because I'm coming up and I
So
need
and
you to get
I
out
think
my way.
most runners are victims of not giving warning as they pass because they think like it's not like it's extremely jarring when a bike comes past you because
Yeah,
it's so fast. And
yeah.
runners think, well, it's not that like and I guess in fairness, would you give warning if you're like passing somebody walking and it's just kind of like creeping by?
Um,
I guess what's the penalty?
walking. Yeah, I don't know. That's a weird one. I just know that like
So what if you're
so
running really slow and it takes you forever to get past somebody
you're like
walking?
on your left and you're like 2 minutes later you still haven't caught up with them. No, I think um I get into this thing where like I don't know how loud to say it. Like I don't want to scream at the top of my
Well,
lungs.
and then you startle them.
Yeah, and then it defeats
Yeah,
the purpose. And then I usually err on the side of being too quiet. And then I'm like
that's my problem.
behind you, guys. I'm coming up behind you. And then they're like, oh, like sorry, sorry guys, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Yeah, so yeah, let people know, and let's try to work on like, can we come to a consensus about like a level like that we can be that we can come up with? Like,
a
don't go
decibel level.
a decibel. That's the level I was talking about. Yeah, like
Do you
should we
know how
carry
to
around
register your own decibels? Like
we have to practice. Like you practice in the mirror. Like you're like
just like
behind
running,
you on your
just
left.
like running.
Yeah,
So if you're gonna practice running, practice with a decibel meter
yeah.
on your
There's
left.
there's a movie, and there's a lady, a character lady, a lady character in this movie, and she like I forgot what the movie is, but she runs all the time, and there's this guy who picks up running, and she always like from way far behind on your
On your
left.
left.
Yes. Do you know what movie I'm talking about?
Yeah, she was
Is
she a
it what's
lawyer?
I don't know.
And
What's
she's
her name?
always just hauling ass in a neighborhood.
And then he looks back. He's like, "No!" And he just takes
Yeah,
off on
yeah.
your
What
left.
was that? And she
What
keeps
was?
yelling at him, like as he's speeding up. She's like, "On your left, on your left."
So good.
What was that? That was a good one.
What's her name? Like
That's a
it's
good
funny.
running scene.
What's her name? It'll come to me later. I don't know.
Anyways,
So it's a good
all
running
right.
scene.
What about acknowledging runners?
Yes. You always like it doesn't have to be a whole lot. Be like it can be that. Like if they're like just cruising by, you can just do a head nod. It could be like a what's up. It could be
I
like
usually
hey,
like the
like like
the point. I like the point.
I like to go up and hug and really get
Point.
into it. And like, anyway, I get in their way. I'm stopping them. I'm like, hey, man.
So can
So,
I say I find it I think that there's like a general like it needs to be extremely nonchalant.
yeah.
So I found here lately as there's so many high school runners in this area and everybody runs in the same area. So it's the towpath.
Yeah.
And I found it really really weird like as high school girls pass like to even acknowledge them.
And it's
There's
weird because
there's something creepy about
it is,
like
though.
then acknowledging and then I also have a problem that it because it's just everything on this is out and back that it all inevitably every single time that I hit my turnaround there's a woman running the other way and I'm like fuck now I've got to run like another damn 5 minutes because this seems really suspect that like as soon as she passes me I'm like
Yeah.
oh my time to turn around.
Always. Dude, always like that. It is like, I think just because, I mean, I don't know that everybody feels that way, but I think in our society today, like you have to feel that way. You can't just go up and randomly say hi to like high school girls and say, hey, how's it going, guys? Nice run you're having there.
Well, candidly, I feel that it's a bit strange with any aged woman.
Yes. Yes.
So
I
it's
had
it's
to go
it's
ahead.
borderline catcalling.
But if you do it to everybody, is it catcalling? Like I
I
had a
realize
lady.
it. So, but I don't want them to be uncomfortable, and in turn,
Yeah.
like ultimately, that's why I think just like I try to make it just as nonchalant. Like I see you, but I'm not paying attention.
No. So this morning on my run, I passed a group of I guess they started off as a group and then they stopped being a group. But to start my run, I passed a group of ladies and they were like, "Hey, how's it going?" And they were like super outgoing and I was like, "Hey, and just kept on running. And then on the way, like coming up to the end of my run, I kind of did like a loop. I was coming up behind them, and I did the whole
Here
like,
comes the creeper.
yeah, I was like, behind you, behind you.
So, were you trying to like blend into the group?
No, not at all. And so like then I started hauling ass.
Don't bother
Then I went
looking
to the,
behind you, ladies. I'm just gonna join your group.
no, then I started hauling ass so that it didn't feel like I was trying to like stay behind them for
I
too
do the
long.
same. I do the same thing. Like I will throw my running metrics out the door if like
Yeah.
I kind of come up on a group and it's taking a little too long to pass them. I'm like, fuck it, it's time to just
That's
throw
it.
down.
So I
You
looked at my watch by the time I was past them. I was like, oh, 7:35 pace. Let's calm that down a little bit. And then they were like, hey, it's you again. And I was like,
yeah.
what the
I
fuck?
I have had times where I've like blasted past and then slowed down too much that they've caught up to me, which is super
Full
It's never
demon.
as uncomfortable when they pass you though.
No, no, it's not. And that's okay.
Unless
But
they
like,
pass you and you just hang on.
yeah, and they're like, hey, mind if I join you? That gets a little
I was
weird.
wondering if you were ever going to catch up.
You got a good pace going on here. Mind if I stay with you?
Did I tell you about the pack of women that saved my life last weekend?
No.
Oh man. So this is like a perfect example. There was so a big parking lot down the street from my house that then leads onto the towpath. And there's two women, they're wearing like ultra gear. So they could have been running anywhere from 5 miles to 100. Like,
Sure.
I have no idea when people are wearing ultra gear that they're legit running
What is
any
ultra gear
distance.
to you?
Well,
What does that mean?
one a backpack like a
Okay.
hydration vest.
Sure. Okay.
That is ultra gear.
I was this close to wearing just for 10 miles, but I was like that close to wearing my pack today. I
I've
think I
worn
should
them
have.
before, but I even make fun of myself in the process of
When
said
I'm going
running
long,
gear.
like when I
When
start
I'm
training for
going
my marathon,
long,
when
when
I'm
I'm
going for
going
my
long,
when I start running for my training for my marathon and going over like 13 miles, I think I'm gonna start taking water with
okay,
me. Yeah,
great.
like fun. Don't make fun of me. And
I
I'm gonna
will.
get a running flannel.
I'll make fun of you on both accounts.
I'm gonna get you one too, though.
So,
So
anyways, I go down there. I always just hop out of the car and go. And so like I see these two women and they're just about to start as soon as I get out of the car and I'm like, well, shit, now I've got to wait.
yeah,
So like I'm not like pulling right in as they're starting the
and then
car and be
take
like,
it
hey,
off.
I'm going to. So I wait and then and so I wait like it wasn't long, but I figured just long enough that I'm probably never going to see him again. And so then I'm running quite slow. I was running at about like 940 pace and immediately start coming up on them. Like I think I probably gave him a full 2 minutes. And
Yeah.
within 5 minutes, was coming up on him. And I was like, damn it, like this is really supposed to be an easy day. And I'm like, like, well, fuck, like, what are you going to do? And so finally, end up passing him, go down the road or go down the towpath about maybe 2 miles into the run. On my left, there's a whole like pack of deer. So there was, I think, about 3 or 4 doe and then like 6 fawn. So it was like a group of mothers and babies there. And I was like, oh, and I'm like looking over, oh, that's so cool. And that they were probably 10 feet off of the towpath in this small little opening. And then that keep running. And now there's a group of women coming the other way, like 6 women coming the other way.
Yeah.
And then like I stopped for a sec. I was having some watch troubles, this and that. That group stops basically right where I'm at and then join each other. Like the 2 women that I met in the park or saw in the parking lot in this
Now
group.
change
Yeah.
story.
And then the group that was running the other way, they were like joining up. And so they basically join up the exact spot that I'm stopped. And then they start running. Now they all turn around and start running the direction that I'm about to turn
Oh,
around to.
Jesus. That's
And I'm
such
like, God damn it. Like, I can't even get away from these people. And so I'm like, I guess I'm just going to have to like pass him again. And so I pass him again. And about a quarter mile later, there's the deer again. By this point, like I had gapped him by say 200 yards. And,
man.
and then this deer is eyeballing me just
Did
like
you?
straight up. And it like kind of started bowing up. And I was like, that deer looks kind of aggressive. Stomps its foot and starts coming at me. And thank God the women who were behind me startled it, where then it turned around. That thing was going to
Jesus.
hoof me to death.
Jesus
Those
Christ.
women saved my life. And I turned around to like, did you all see that? And they all pretended like just they had no interest in even.
This guy, look at this weirdo. First, he starts tailing us. Second, he stops where we're going to stop. And then he's going to wait for us again.
Right. And I genuinely wanted to thank him for saving my life. Like, I'll be honest, I was scared. Like, what do you do
That's
against a
scary.
deer? What do you do against a deer? You can't outrun it.
You can kick it in its nuts.
You. It was a doe.
Get in her nuts. How do you know she doesn't have nuts?
Okay.
You can look. You can get it like so. You get it like this, and you headlock it, and you start like just
Right in its snout.
yeah. And you put your fingers up its nose and start like
Yeah.
digging in there.
Pulling its head down so it can't look at you.
Right. If it's about your survival, you gotta get nasty. You gotta start biting it and kicking
I
it.
know. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was watching some videos of deer attacks. That
Those
shit
guys
got
are
real
brutal.
fast.
It gets
So, but
brutal.
the one guy just got the shit beat out of him by a buck, and he had his such an idiot. He had his wife record this, and he
Jesus.
doused himself in deer urine during running season, and then his buck just beat the living shit out of this guy. It was just rearing up and stomping him with its hooves, and the guy's just getting tromped on, and finally had to grab it by its antlers, which, by the way, with a doe, you couldn't do that. So then he's just steering this thing down with the antlers after he just had the shit kicked out of him. It was quite, and the wife the whole time is just kind of like chuckling as this deer's reared up with its hooves.
It was attempted murder. She was like, "Hey, getting that life insurance." Dude, you showed me a series of like videos on YouTube that like cram. I showed Elliot
Yes.
yeah, I showed Elliot. He loves them. Cram.
Yeah. The best one is Off the Wall.
Yeah, dude. It's whack.
Michael Jackson Off the Wall.
Yeah, dude. Man, this conversation is completely evolved into some kind of craziness,
So,
which is good.
and it grew. So there it is. That I think is probably the end of group running etiquette.
Yeah.
What about
run as a group?
But before we get to race etiquette, because I think we're going to be wrapping up relatively quick here, track etiquette, public track etiquette.
Okay.
If you are not fast, and by fast I would say under 7 minutes per mile of what you're doing, stay out of lanes 1, 2, maybe even 3.
I don't know about lane 3. I think you can go in lane 3. But that, like, the thing is, Brad, like, okay, so the inside lanes aren't necessarily just for fast people. They're for, like,
I know,
intervals.
but every time that I've been to a public track and tried to do a track workout, which is pretty infrequently at this stage of my life, but there'll be a walker that just thinks they own inside of lane 1.
Yeah, like,
and I don't mind passing people that are trying to run, but just move out of lane 1.
Yeah. And if especially, okay, so if you're doing your workout and you're doing your intervals, lane 1, it is what it is. Like, unless you're walking, and that's not really, like, you're exercising, but it's not a workout necessarily, right? But if you're working out, lane 1 is fine, lane 2 is fine. But if you're not actively working out, if you're not in the middle of a rep, get out of lane 1, get out of lane 2, get out of lane 3, go out as far as you can, or go into the inside of the track and do whatever you need to do over there. But get out of those lanes, because you're just going to be a hindrance to everybody who's doing their work.
Don't warm up on the inside of the track.
Nope.
Inside of the track, the like early lanes.
Yep. Nope.
So like, be fast on the inside lanes.
As fast as you can be. Right. That's what that's for. It's for the work.
Move in the same direction that, like, some tracks change direction on a daily basis. But under the assumption that they're not changing direction, run in the direction that the track is meant to be run on.
Yep. Does everybody know that? It's counterclockwise. You
can read the numbers side up, not upside down.
Right. So go counterclockwise on a track unless you're told otherwise.
So, and for me, you can tell when people are faster than you. I know if I'm on a track, if somebody's faster than me, I think that they need the workout more than me. So I'll just scoot over.
Yeah, sure. At least when you know they're coming up on you, and then you can scooch back in. Yeah. So just pay attention, just like you should anyway when you're running.
And if they can do this in elite level racing, in 10Ks and NCAA championships, etc., when people get lapped runners have to move to the outside.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So if they can do that at an NCAA and elite level running, you can do it at your recreational track.
That's exactly right. Use the appropriate footwear. Like, don't go out there in cleats and tear up the tracks and stuff like that. Like, if you're wearing spikes, that's fine. If you're wearing running shoes, that's fine. Don't wear stuff that's not meant to go on the track, because it'll tear the track up. Big time. And don't do the same thing on the interior of the track. If you are not purposefully out there, if there's not like a soccer field in the middle, if there's not a football field and you don't belong out there and you're out there just tearing it up, don't do it. Leave it as it was, right? It's there for you, but it's there for everybody. So, like, leave it in as good a condition as you can.
Jeremy, you led me back to just a normal running thing. Good night. Don't leave your trash all over the place.
Oh yeah, clean up after yourself, please.
So pack in whatever you pack in, pack out.
Yep.
For as
Leave it as
annoying
it was.
that is with like say energy gels on long runs when you get then a
Yep.
sticky spot from putting it back in your running shorts
That,
pocket,
that's why.
deal with it.
That's why you get little baggies and you put them in that. So you carry around an empty baggie. You can just shove it in that bad boy.
Yep.
Yep. That's exactly right.
So,
So
all right,
track
race
etiquette. Are we
race
done?
etiquette. I don't really think there's any other track etiquette than respecting faster people.
Yeah, I agree. Race etiquette. Number one. This is a big one for Brad. Don't wear a race shirt. That's just dumb.
I'm
Although
not sure
I
that
don't
that's
agree with that.
etiquette. It's just like you don't want to look like a noob.
Who cares, man? I'm gonna wear it.
I
Look,
care.
just to spite you, I'm gonna wear my race shirts.
Okay, Jeremy, go ahead and do it. I will make fun
Except
of
for the
you.
10K. Except for the 10K, where I'll have to wear the pink jersey. So
So race etiquette. One, know where you should be on the starting line.
that's right. Don't line up like at the very front, even if you're gonna run hard. If you know you're not like a 6 minute miler, right? Depending on the race,
Or
like
less.
or less, right? Like if you're going out to a 5K and you can't crank down sub sixes, don't be
If
at the
you're
very
not
front.
planning on going out at 5:30 pace, get
Yeah.
off of the front.
Look, you can start 3 rows back and still run a phenomenal time with nobody impeding you at all.
Yep.
You don't need to be at the very front. But if this in particular runners or walkers, I love the fact that walkers are out there. Like go out there, get your work in, but not at the front of the race. Not at
Yep.
the front of the race. I did an 8K a number of years ago. It was a big 8K, a lot of super elites. I ran like I don't know 28 something, and right at the very beginning, right in front of me, I didn't realize it at the time. They started walking. I was like the third row in, and they started walking, and I was like, "What the absolute fuck?" And people were so pissed off about it. They were right in the middle. There was a group of like four wide. So speaking of even like keeping it twos, they were walking, and they were all like having the best time of their lives, and just not completely like didn't even pay attention to what was going on around them.
I mean, it's basically a life rule. Think of others.
Yeah, think of others. That's exactly right. Well put,
So
Bradford.
don't lie about your race times to
Right,
get in
but you could
faster corrals.
right, but when you say lie, like so let's say okay, well let's say this. Let's say like I've just signed up for grandmas, right? And I'm
Yep.
do they start in corrals, I'm sure, right? There are 9,000 runners.
The
If
year I
I
the
signed up
year I ran it was not, but the majority
yeah.
of years, yes, it goes by corrals.
Yeah, so like I signed up for 303. I mean, that's a big stretch. So like that's going to be the race of my life if I run 303. But if I get to the race and I'm not in 303 shape, they generally say it's okay to go back in corrals. You just can't go forward in corrals. So if I'm in like if I know that I'm going to go out and run like 340 and just have a fun time, I'm not going to put myself up there at the beginning to get in people's way.
I think all of this is within reason, and it's all about the first. Uh, I don't know. It's race dependent on the percentage of time for the race. So, but
Yeah.
it's for the first portion of the race. If like if you're planning on going out in a goal pace, even if you don't feel like you can hit a goal, say sub 3 hours in the marathon or sub 20 in a 5K, but you want to try going out that fast, like by all means,
Yeah.
go ahead and do it and within reason. And so this happens in high school racing, college racing, professional racing. You can get seated up based off of, like your coach putting in, I think you're in, 355, 1500 pace. I'm going to put you in as a 355 time.
Yeah.
So these things happen, but you're not running like chances are you're probably pretty close to that time as opposed
Yeah.
to not even close to that time.
Right. Like if you're a 430, 1500 meter,
Yes. A
right? You're
five
not going to go
minuter.
up. Yeah, you're not going to go up there to the 355 and just kind of throw down. It's just not going to happen. Um, what's another one, Brad? So, uh, yes, don't start up ahead of where you should start. Like, just be mindful of that. People have like qualifying times they're trying to hit, and you don't want to be the purpose of that. If you're going to stop or significantly slow down, don't do it just in the middle of everybody. Like, find your way over to the side of the road or the path or wherever you are, and like then you can do your stuff over there. Don't just like be in the middle of everybody, like, oh, I'm done, and just do it right in the middle of everybody. That's another one.
I would agree. I think anytime that I've had to dip off, one, I'm ashamed of it, so I want to
Yeah,
just disappear into the fray, which
that's
is
exactly
really
right.
the way that you should do it. Is you should just be slowly. It's like that meme of Homer Simpson where he just kind of disappears into the
Yeah,
bush.
you're
Like
right.
that is the way that you should be exiting off of, like, from running into a stop, disappear.
Yep. Yeah, it's never fun to stop in the middle of a run, and I haven't done it too many times outside of the marathon. As a matter of fact, I don't know that I've done it any times outside of the marathon. But I have yet to run a marathon to this day that I haven't had to do walk breaks, at least at some point in time. Even my like most recent Richmond, when I was feeling like absolute dog crap.
So I just
So
watched a high school race, and I've seen this in like 5K races. What's your take on runners like these goons that just go out like bats out of hell, it just to be say that they're leading the race for some period of time?
Brad, we've talked about doing this in the past.
But have we ever done it?
No, because we're not idiotic. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Can you fault them for wanting to say they've led a race?
So, but I feel like it's this same level of like group disrespect because they come to a grinding halt. So, like,
Okay, well that's different. Yes,
so
if
I
they go
saw
out,
I saw two high schoolers this weekend. I went to Kira's like conference championship this weekend,
yeah,
and there was two boys on a team. One of them was wearing, it was raining, and really wasn't muddy out, but I mean, like, it was raining was pretty much the extent of it. Like the
yeah.
course was in perfect condition. One guy's wearing ski goggles, you know, like wrapped around, and he and his buddy went out in, I'm sure it was a 60-second quarter, and it was downhill. So they were probably running like 53-second quarter pace. And
Yeah.
after about 200 meters, they're both going like this, and immediately the pack just ate
Oh,
him up.
Jesus. Yeah, don't do that. That's just not good. Like, if I was their coach, I would have lost my mind. I would
I
have
would have
lost.
probably pulled him off of the course.
Oh, 100%. A
Well,
hundred
one,
percent.
if you showed up onto the start line with the goggles, I would have pulled you off of the start line in said
Yeah,
goggles.
you don't get to do that, dude. No way. No way. That's on the coach too, though, man. Like
It
who
is.
like that's on the coach.
So, and I know, like, even in 5Ks, people think it's amusing. I personally think it's, in particular for people that want to be serious, it's disrespectful. Like you're just saying,
Yeah.
like what you're doing is just dumb,
Yeah.
and like I think it's borderline disrespectful. Is it that big of a deal? No, but it's basically the same thing as starting to walk or walking at like at the front of a 5K
Yeah.
race.
I would say that that's a more egregious thing as walking at the beginning, but um, at the front. But yeah, I agree. I know that in a bunch of road races, I always have these like little kids with their parents who just take off like bats out of hell, like
Yeah,
flat out.
that's because they don't know any better.
No, I look, I know that, but I'm always like, dude, there's no way. And they don't half the time. Half those fucking little kids beat me. So I'm like, I'm gonna get them back, and then they're just gone. Never mind.
Is there any other racing etiquette? I would say
Yeah.
only get rid of your trash at aid stations.
Yep. Don't stop at age like if you are getting water, don't stop at the very beginning of the water table. Like grab your water,
Mm,
and if you feel like you need to like stop to drink it, then like get out of the
disappear.
way. Yeah, exactly. If you got to do a snot rocket in a group,
It's the
especially
same
in a
thing as
race,
a group.
yeah, like do it, but over there or over there, like not right here. I don't want to get covered in bugs. It's just it's not something that I care to do. Um, Generally try to use the porta johns if you can. Um, Guys can get away with it a little bit easier than gals can, but like use the porta johns. I don't want to see like dingling hanging out where you're urinating all over the place. So, and there's probably people who definitely don't want to see that. What does that look for, Brad?
You're the kid in the ski goggles.
Dude, just wait. I'm gonna have a pair for both of us for the 10K.
Any other
So,
racing etiquette you can think of?
um, when you're done at the end, like move forward, like if you can,
Good one.
right? Like don't just like get across the finish line, just like stop dead, because I can guarantee there's people behind you who are coming storming in, and that's not going to be pretty.
So
Uh,
I would say if you can, thank the volunteers.
Absolutely, and you can. There's no reason that you can't unless you're
Well, I'm
like
saying
straight
like
up
in the middle
flat
of a
on your face.
race, like in the middle
Oh
of
yeah,
say a
yeah,
5K, it's difficult. So, but
yeah,
like registering, it's super easy too. When you
yeah,
finish the race, when you catch your breath, it's super easy too. As
yeah,
they're handing
absolutely.
out medals, there's no reason not to. So thank the volunteers. Mm,
Yeah, that's a big one. Like they're out there, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're volunteering. Like they're
yep.
not getting paid to be out there to like give you water or to hand you a trophy or a little medal or whatever it may be. They're doing it because they want to be out there to help out. So definitely want to thank them.
I'm still a big. I know you're not a fan of this, but I'm still a big fan of cheering, like rooting people on as you're moving along.
No, I'm not saying I'm not a big fan of it. I just don't do it. I'm just an asshole. I'm just hoping for the worst of them. Um, no, of course. Like if they're out there and we're both crushing and we're just like getting after it, like yeah, let's cheer each other on. If
So
you're not cheering,
you said last time that we talked
I
about this,
know
it was condescending. So
it is to a
and
degree.
so okay, so let me put it in this scenario because I see this at every high school race. The slowest person that finishes, everybody stops and cheers.
Uh huh.
So what's
That's
the
the last.
difference?
The last man's like that's the like nobody wants to like. You got
Is that
it.
condescending?
It's not condescending, but I can guarantee that that kid doesn't want to hear like you got it, just finish strong. And he's like, no shit. Like, come on. Like, I
I
don't
know, but
know.
if you're cheering for all of the other kids are finishing, doesn't the kid
Well,
finishing
yes, if
last
you're cheering
deserve the
for
same respect?
yes, in that case, yes. But if you're doing it just to show pity and you haven't done it for everybody else, you're just like getting that last person across the line. Look, one of our old teammates got like the last place clap at a race at Duke, and it was the most embarrassing thing. And it's embarrassing for the team. It was embarrassing for him. It was like, what the shit was going on? So I think I just have a little bit of
I think
resentment
that's
toward that.
different in college.
I know, but I think that's like some built-in resentment that I still have about that. That's like
So that's
tainting the way
one
that I feel
one
about it.
scenario versus like all
I
of like
know,
some of the
Brad.
most memorable moments in the Olympics, like that 400-meter runner that his
Oh
dad
well,
came out to the track.
that's completely different, man. Of course, I'm gonna go out there. I would probably go out there and just like hug both of them and cry
So,
with
but
them.
they got a standing ovation for coming in.
They they did because he didn't just stop. His leg was falling off, and he just finished
So,
up.
so I'm a big fan of, and the reason that I think I'm a huge fan of like cheering people on that are including people that are passing you or that you are passing is in particular in a marathon, I'm always under the impression like if I can cheer for you now, I'm hoping that somebody will cheer for me when I'm starting to go backwards and I need to pick me up.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm not opposed to it. I just think that you have to really pay attention and be cognizant of of that person's situation, right? Like if that person has given up and they're just like in a
So let's
college or
put
something
it
like
under the same thing as paying attention and being cognizant of like acknowledging women as a man on the
yes,
trail
yeah,
or
let's do that. Well,
juveniles, etc. Like there should be some level
yes,
of recognizing what's happening around you.
absolutely. Let's put it there because I'm not opposed to it, but I just don't think like if it's that person who you could just tell is having a bad race and they don't want to hear shit from you, and you just know they don't want to hear shit from you, to like, it's all right, man, you got it. And like I've had that happen to me a couple times. I'm like, thanks, but in my like brain, I'm like, fuck off. You know, I'm never gonna like berate somebody for telling me to like good job or keep going, but I'm also like thinking internally, you can go eat a dick. So that's just who I am, and I apologize. And to my listeners out there, I'm sorry. You got to see a little bit of who I am as a person, and it's not all nice.
It's nasty.
Quite nasty.
I mean, this is quite a low spot for you, Jeremy.
I would agree, but that's just
I mean,
because I don't want pity.
I genuinely felt like I would go to the low spot, but your language, your attitude, and just your demeanor to others it's
don't want
turned
pity.
ugly. It's turned ugly here.
Pity. I don't want pity. That's what. That's what. I don't want pity.
And so your immediate reaction is yelling at somebody, go chew on a man's penis.
I told you I would say thank you. I appreciate it. I'm like, yeah,
but you would think this person should grab a dinner plate and eat a man's penis.
As long as they get a dinner plate and some silverware, and then do it nicely, and they cut it up
their
a little
napkin
bit.
into their shirt.
Right. Oh, that's getting nice. All right, put your napkin on your lap. Get it all right. You know, make sure that you have your silverware lined up appropriately. You're good.
Garçon, I'm wearing blue pants. Would you mind taking away this white napkin and bringing a dark napkin for me so I don't have the lint dust on me?
You're ridiculous, Bradford. You want to even step? I don't know about that because I don't go to nice places where I have to worry about that.
Well, I think that's etiquette 101.
I think so. I think this was a good one, Brad. Thank you for helping guide this one through.
I mean, it's good in the fact that we've learned who you truly are, and it's
I'm a person who's gonna say thank you and then think that you need to go eat a dick on a dinner plate.
Just vulgar, Jeremy.
Sorry, guys. Apologies. So, hey, Brad. Guess what? I love you, man.
I'm not sure that I want to return the favor after the way that you've. I mean,
I'm not asking you to return a favor. I don't care if you say it back to me or not. But I'm just letting you know that I appreciate you.
Your mom might be ashamed of this episode, of who you are.
I think she's ashamed of me regardless.
The man she's raised you to be.
Yeah, I mean, she hasn't been able to make me the person I need to be in 43 years. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So there's all there.
Bud. Love you, bud.
Man, I'll see you next time.
Love you, bud.
Love you. little.